I didn't expect one night to change everything. It was supposed to be just another weekend gathering, some old friends, music, laughter, and memories. Nothing more. But sometimes, life doesn't ask for permission before turning things upside down. I never thought letting her stay over after the party would leave me restless, staring at the ceiling night after night, burdened by something heavier than I ever imagined, guilt. Her name is Jenna. We've known each other since college, though we were never close back then. Life just kept us in the same circles, and somehow, we always ended up crossing paths at mutual friends' events. She was the kind of person who made everyone feel like they mattered, kind, smart, always laughing just a little louder than the rest. That night, she arrived a bit late, wearing that same carefree smile, like nothing in the world could touch her. I wish I had known how wrong I was. The party itself wasn't wild or anything. Just a cozy get-together at my apartment. Music playing low, pizza boxes scattered on the coffee table, and people dancing in the kitchen. It felt safe. Familiar. When the night started to wind down, people left one by one, some calling rides, others just walking out with sleepy smiles and tired hugs. But Jenna? She lingered. It was raining outside, and she lived across the city. She didn't ask to stay. I offered. I thought it was harmless. Just a friend needing a couch for the night. She hesitated for a second, then smiled and said, "If you're sure." I didn't think twice. I set up the couch, gave her a spare blanket, and even left a bottle of water beside her. She thanked me softly. We talked for a few more minutes, just small things, nothing deep. I went to bed without any worry. But since that night, I can't sleep. It's not because something happened in the way you might think. It's what came after. Something she said. Something I saw. And something I haven't told anyone. I've been walking through my days like a ghost, stuck between wanting to forget and being scared of what forgetting might mean. The guilt isn't just from what I did, but maybe also from what I didn't do. There are moments burned into my memory now, her voice in the dark, the look in her eyes the next morning, the message she left me days later. I replay it all over and over, wondering what I missed. Wondering if I could have changed something. Because now, no matter how hard I try, I can't sleep at night. This story isn't about love. It's not even really about friendship. It's about a choice. A moment. And the ripple effect it can have on someone's soul. I thought it was just a simple act of kindness, letting someone stay over for the night. But I've come to realize, nothing about that night was simple. And if I could go back, I'd do one thing very differently. It all started making sense a few days later, though at the time, I didn't realize anything was wrong. After Jenna left that morning, she seemed off. She didn't eat breakfast, barely made eye contact, and when I asked if everything was okay, she just said she was tired. I believed her. Or maybe I just wanted to believe her. She hugged me goodbye like she was holding something back, and I didn't press her. I wish I had. Later that day, I found her scarf still lying on the couch. I texted her to let her know, expecting a quick "thanks, I'll grab it later." But she didn't respond. Not that day, not the next. When I finally did hear from her, it wasn't a call or a visit. It was a message, just one sentence. "I'm sorry if I made things uncomfortable." No explanation. No follow-up. That's when the pit in my stomach started growing. I kept going over the night again and again. Did I say something wrong? Was she uncomfortable staying over? Did something happen that I wasn't even aware of? The more I thought about it, the more I realized how little I actually knew about what she was feeling. And then another thought hit me, what if something had happened to her that night, and I missed it? What if I was the only one who could have noticed, the only one who could have helped? That guilt is what keeps me awake now. The idea that I was there, right beside someone who might have been silently crying out for help. And I didn't see it. Or maybe I chose not to. The silence between us has grown heavier with each passing day. And the worst part? I'm starting to think there's more to that night than I ever imagined. I tried to brush it off at first, maybe she was just dealing with something personal. Maybe it had nothing to do with me. But the silence stretched into a week, and then I started hearing things from mutual friends. Jenna had pulled back from everyone, skipped a birthday dinner she was excited about, and stopped replying in group chats. That wasn't like her. One friend casually mentioned she'd been different since the night of the party, and my stomach dropped. I kept quiet, not knowing what to say, afraid of what I might hear if I asked too much. Then something strange happened. I got a letter. Not a text, not a call, an actual handwritten letter left at my door. No envelope, no name. Just a note that said, "You weren't supposed to forget. Some things leave marks even when no one sees them." That was it. I recognized the handwriting. It was Jenna's. That letter made everything feel heavier. What wasn't I supposed to forget? What marks? And most of all, what had I missed? That night was burned into my memory now, but suddenly there were blank spaces, tiny moments I'd never thought twice about. Like the way she froze when someone hugged her goodbye too tightly. Or how she locked the bathroom door and stayed inside longer than usual. I didn't think it mattered then. But now, it all feels connected. There's this voice in my head asking the same question over and over: was she trying to tell me something that night? Did I look away when I should have paid attention? And if she did need help, why didn't she say anything clearly? Or maybe she did. And I just didn't listen. Now, it might be too late. I couldn't shake the feeling anymore. That letter haunted me. I started going over every detail from that night, almost obsessively. The playlist that was on, who was sitting where, even what time the rain started. I scrolled through photos people had taken at the party, hoping to find something, anything, that would give me a clue. One picture caught my attention. Jenna was in the background, sitting alone on the edge of the couch, looking straight at the camera. But it wasn't her usual smile. It was like she was trapped in her own head. I reached out again. Texted her. Called. Nothing. I even drove past her apartment one evening, hoping I might see her lights on. They weren't. It was like she'd disappeared. And that silence was louder than anything I'd ever known. That's when I started blaming myself for real. Maybe I missed signs no one else did. Maybe she trusted me enough to stay that night, and I completely failed her. Then, a week later, I got a message from an unknown number. No name. Just one line: "Do you want to know the truth?" My heart dropped. I replied immediately, asking who it was, but there was no response. That question stayed on my screen like it was staring back at me. I didn't know whether to be scared or relieved. The next day, an old friend, Derek, called me out of nowhere. He was at the party too, but we hadn't spoken since. His voice was shaky. He said he needed to talk. In person. Said it was about that night. I agreed, not knowing that the truth I was chasing was a lot darker than I was prepared for. And as the pieces started falling into place, I realized someone had been hiding something all along. Maybe even more than one person. When I met Derek the next evening, I could tell something was eating at him. He looked exhausted, eyes sunken like he hadn't slept properly in days. We met at a quiet cafe far from the usual spots, like he didn't want anyone recognizing us. He didn't waste time on small talk. He jumped right in and said, "That night, something happened after you went to bed. And I've been trying to forget it ever since." I froze. He said Jenna was still awake after everyone left. He'd gone back into the living room to grab his charger and found her standing by the window, arms crossed, staring out at the rain. They talked briefly, nothing deep. But then she got a call. According to him, it was short, but it clearly shook her. He couldn't hear what was said, but after she hung up, she looked terrified. He asked her if she was okay, and she just said he wasn't supposed to find out. Then she asked him not to tell anyone she'd stayed over. I was confused. Who was he? And what wasn't supposed to be found out? That's when Derek looked at me and said something I didn't expect. I think Jenna was being watched. And not just that night. He told me that weeks before the party, Jenna had mentioned someone from her past reaching out again, someone she had blocked. An ex, possibly. She didn't say much, just that he used to mess with her head. Derek assumed it was nothing serious. But now, looking back, he thought maybe she had come to the party that night not just to have fun, but to feel safe. To get away from something. Or someone. And then he told me one more thing. He hadn't come forward earlier because the morning after the party, he saw someone parked across the street in a dark car, watching. He thought it was strange, but now he was convinced it was connected. And when I checked my building's camera footage from that night, I saw it too. A car. Engine running. Parked there for over 2 hours. My heart sank. If Jenna had been trying to hide, she hadn't succeeded. And maybe by letting her stay over, I unknowingly led someone straight to her. After seeing the car on the camera footage, everything inside me shifted. I wasn't just worried anymore, I was scared. For her. For myself. I didn't know what I was stepping into, but I couldn't walk away. I reached out again, this time leaving a voicemail. Jenna, if you're in trouble, please let me help. I know something's going on. You don't have to go through it alone. That night, I barely slept. Around 3 a.m., my phone buzzed. It was a text. No name, just a number I didn't recognize. But the message? It was her. Meet me tomorrow. Same cafe. Noon. Don't tell anyone. My heart was racing. I showed up early, nerves twisting my stomach into knots. She arrived right on time, hood up, eyes hidden behind sunglasses. But her voice cracked when she said my name. We sat, and slowly, she opened up. She told me the man she was scared of wasn't just an ex, he was someone she used to work for. Someone with money, influence, and a temper. Their relationship had started behind closed doors. By the time she realized how controlling he was, it was too late. She tried to leave. He didn't take it well. She thought he had stopped following her. That night at my place, she'd received a call from an unknown number, his voice. He said he knew where she was. That she had left a trail. That's why she panicked. That's why she pulled away from everyone. I felt sick. I asked why she didn't come to me sooner. She looked down and whispered, because I knew the moment you offered me that couch, you were kind. And kind people always get hurt first. I promised her I'd help. We went to the police with what she knew. Derek backed us up. It wasn't easy, but they opened an investigation. Weeks later, she finally moved, quietly, safely, no social media, no goodbyes. She just disappeared into a new beginning. But the twist? A few days after she left, I got another note on my door. Same handwriting as before. But this time, it wasn't from Jenna. It said, you should have kept your door shut that night. And that's when I realized, someone else had been watching too. That last note changed everything for me. It confirmed what I had tried to ignore, that there was more to this story than just Jenna's past. Someone else had been involved, someone who had seen everything unfold and decided to stay in the shadows. I reported the note to the police, and they said they'd keep an eye on the building, but the truth was, I didn't feel safe in my own space anymore. Every sound at night, every unfamiliar car outside, every knock at the door, it all made my heart jump. I had never experienced anxiety like that before. In time, though, things began to calm down. Jenna reached out once, through a secure app, no location, no number. Just a short message saying she was okay. Safe. Healing. That she was grateful I didn't turn away when things got hard. I didn't reply. I wanted to, but somehow, I felt like it was better to let her go quietly, knowing she was starting over without having to look over her shoulder every day. Derek and I talked a few more times. He admitted that guilt had been eating him alive too. We both carried the weight of not seeing the full picture soon enough. But maybe we were meant to learn something through it. Maybe some stories don't tie up neatly, they just leave you with lessons you didn't ask for. Now, months later, I still think about that night. About how a simple choice, to let someone stay over after a party, became a turning point. A real, emotional guilt story that taught me how thin the line is between helping and getting caught in something much deeper. I no longer leave my door unlocked. I trust my instincts more. And I've learned that silence doesn't always mean peace, sometimes, it's a scream you can't hear. So when people ask me why I look tired all the time, I just smile and say, long nights. But deep down, I know the truth. That one night still lingers in my mind, echoing in ways I never expected. She stayed over after the party, and now, even after everything is over, I still can't sleep at night.